So how do you make $100,000 as quickly as possible with SMMA? That's what we're going to be going through today. I'm going to break this thing down for you. Day by day, week by week, sales targets, conversion rates, the exact numbers that you need to stick to reach your financial goals as an agency owner. And there is no BS here. This is realistic, achievable data and numbers based on thousands of agencies that I've worked with over the past few years. So if you're an existing or aspiring agency owner, stop everything you are doing right now and watch this video. So first of all, if you don't know what SMMA is, SMMA means Social Media Marketing Agency, which is another term for a digital marketing agency or just a service-based business. Person A, which is you, going to person B, which is a business owner, and we're going to offer them a service to help them increase their monthly revenue. Now, in my instance, 3 years ago, I launched a Facebook ad agency. I had no experience whatsoever, and today this agency makes me 6 figures a month profit, and we are growing this company month on month, and it's not looking like it's going to give up anytime soon. So it's an incredible business for anybody who wants to get into entrepreneurship or start their own company, be their own boss. It's a great business for people to start with pretty much no experience whatsoever, but you need to have the willpower and resilience to dive in and stick to some pretty rigorous sales targets. And that's what we're going to be going through today. I'm going to give you the exact figures, the exact formula for how you can make $100,000 as quickly as possible as an agency owner using realistic data based on thousands and thousands of agencies that we have worked with over the past few years. So without wasting any more time here, let's turn around and let's get onto the Mac. Okay, let's do this. So I'm going to show you a spreadsheet that we use for our private coaching clients to show them exactly what they need to do to reach the financial goal they have within their agency. I'm going to show you this bit by bit, okay? So first of all, we need to set our target figure per month. So how much revenue do we want to make per month as an agency owner? And the majority of the time when I ask people this, they'd say, Jordan, I want to make 10K per month. And this is a nice goal to start you off with. But believe me, when you make 10K, you want 20, then 50, then 100K. And that is the curse of entrepreneurship. But 10,000 is a nice goal for you to start off as an aspiring agency owner. So we're going to stick with that, obviously change this for the country you're based in. Then we need to understand what kind of time frame we want to reach this in. So how long do we want to wait until we actually can make this amount of money? And I think to make 10K a month, it is very, very realistic to make this amount of money within 3 months. If you are committed and you are consistent with everything that you are doing, you don't even need to work full-time hours to make 10K within 3 months as an agency owner. And you'll understand why in a second. Now, bear in mind before I move on, all of the data that I'm going to show you today is based on new start agency owners with little to no experience whatsoever. So some of you who are watching this will have much higher conversion rates. It will take you a lot quicker. Some of you, it might take you a little bit shorter, but this is based on the average data from working with a ton of agency owners recently and in the past as well. So let's move on to some actual breakdown. So the overall targets we need are 7 clients here, because I see that an agency that's making 10K on average, their average client is paying them around $1,500 per month. Because when you start as an agency owner, you start signing up clients around the $1,000 point. You then might sign one for 2 for free, but across the board, if you've got around 7 clients, you're making 10K, your average client is going to be paying you $1,500 a month conservatively. So that is our target. We can change this later. I'll adapt all of these numbers and mess around with this later on, but for now we're going to stick to this. So that means that the total meetings we need to set is 20 to actually get those 7 clients, because we're basing this on a 30% close rate. Again, this is based on real data. There are so many people, so many gurus out there that will say to you, hey, look, when you get a meeting, you're going to sign a client, it's going to be a dead cert. They're BSing you. It simply isn't true. A new start agency owner with no sales experience is not going to close every single meeting they have when they first start off, and that is completely okay. On average, you're probably going to sign 1 or close 1 in 3 of your meetings, because you're going to stumble over your words. You're really not used to sales. You're in an uncomfortable environment. You're going to find your feet. And every single time we get a no, we're still going to learn from that experience and we'll know what to change later on. But realistically, starting off, I see a 30% close rate with new start agencies. Now, these numbers will change dramatically as you get more experience. Our close rate is sat at around 70% at the moment. So let's move on. So that then means if we're trying to get 20 meetings over the course of 3 months, then the minimum sales targets that we have, this is new companies that we are outreaching, okay? So new companies we are DMing or cold calling, whatever outreach strategy you're following. By the way, if you want to know some, then click the link above the video or in the description and you can watch our outreach methods later after this, but keep with this. So the weekly meetings we need to set based on the 30% close rate are 2 meetings per week, okay? We need to set 2 meetings per week. That's a pretty feeble amount of meetings, right? And that actually equates to 83 outreaches per week based on working 5 days per week. So you don't even have to work 7 days a week here like so many entrepreneurs do. You're starting Monday to Friday. This is on the basis of this. I'm downplaying this data. I want to under-promise and over-deliver this stuff to you. Now, I'm setting an incredibly low meeting set rate of 2%. Now, this is the bottom end percentage of what we see meeting set rates to be with agencies across the board globally. And this is for new start agencies. Again, our meeting set rate is over 5% now. And those numbers may seem low to you, but this is how it really is in sales. So what this actually means, if you reach out to 50 business owners, you're realistically going to get one meeting actually set from those outreaches. Now, there'll be some of you watching this right now that are saying, hey, Jordan, I've actually reached out to 10 businesses or 20 businesses and I've actually secured a meeting, and that's great. You're in the above average category. But across the world, globally, we see a 2% meeting set rate, which is pretty standard in sales. But again, that dramatically increases. As I said, we are over 5%. Now, what that actually means is your outreaches per day need to be 17 outreaches to new companies per day for you to hit £10,000 per month within 3 months of launching a company. So let's just paint that picture. You're a new start business owner. You have no experience whatsoever. You come along, you've watched a few of my videos online, you think, do you know what, I'm going to start this digital marketing agency. All you need to do to make £10,000 or dollars per month within 3 months, which is 90 days after launching your agency, is reach out to 17 companies per day by messaging them on your Instagram DMs or emailing them or calling them or using a multi-platform strategy like we recommend. That's a drop in the ocean. That is literally 4 hours work per day, including finding all of the leads maximum. If you're paying somebody to do the lead generation for you, you're working an hour or two per day to reach these financial targets. And again, this is based on the lowest targets ever. I want this to be so realistic and achievable for you guys. I could sit here and give you a 5% meeting set rate, give you a 50% close rate like every other guru out there would. But I said every other guru out there, like I'm not a guru, I'm not your guru. But I could give you all of these blasé figures to try and make you feel more confident about this, but I want to give you the realistic targets, and it's still incredibly achievable. And it's just a ridiculous model, okay, for anybody that wants to get into entrepreneurship. So these are the basic targets. Let's play around with this a little bit. Let's say you didn't want to make it in 3 months, you wanted to do it in 6 months or 12 months, you had a bit more time to play around with. Then we can change this to 6, and we can see that our outreaches per day go down to 8. Based on the lowest level of data, we just need to reach to 8 new companies per day. Let's say we want to do this in 12, then you guessed it, it's going to be 4 new companies that we need to reach out to per day, 5 days a week, okay? This is incredibly achievable. Now let's just up these goals, okay? Because some of you are going to have some pretty lofty goals. Let's say you want to make 50K within your agency within the next, let's do 12 months, okay? Now, if you reach out to 21 companies per day, you are on average going to make 50,000 in your agency within the next 12 months. And that is based on you signing up clients for a measly $1,500. Now, I have clients who pay me $23,000 per week. That was an invoice we sent out 2 weeks ago to one of our ROAS-based clients, which means we charge them a percentage of the money we make them. So this is based on the lowest level of client, and I'm going to show you how we can really change this stuff in a moment. So let's just go down onto services. Let me just see if I can get this. Hopefully you're following all this, guys. I'm talking so quick because I'm passionate about this data. Because this truly is realistic, and it's just insane that people don't understand the data and the numbers behind what it takes to be a successful business owner. So as an agency owner, I've got a few services that we've got listed here, and if you're an ad agency, these are kind of the prices that you want to be going on. If you're a web agency or a software agency or maybe even a content agency, you're going to want to adapt this to whatever services you're offering. But the lowest kind of level of services that we offer here are, let's say, a downsell. It could be a strategy call or a social media management client. And this is going to be around £500 per month, $500. That's the minimum we're going to be closing for. So we'd need 100 clients in that instance. Now, entry level, we could do an ad service charge or social media management for about $950. That's probably an entry level service. Then we've got low ticket clients, so 1,500. Mid ticket, so a mid-level kind of e-com store, we could charge 3,000 service charge. And then we get into the ROAS-based deals. And this is where we really start making our money. When you charge a service charge plus a percentage of the return on investment we actually make for our clients. So if I'm charging a client $2,000 a month, for example, service charge, but a 10% ROAS deal, that means I'm going to charge them 10% of every single penny I make for them. If I make them 100K and I spent 10K on ad spend, I'm going to charge them 10% of the 90,000. So that's 9,000 in additional ROAS commissions in my paycheck. So I'm going to make 11K from that client in 1 month. Then we have high ticket ROAS. So this is going to be making you at least 10,000. As I said, we've got clients who literally pay us over 50k based on their ROAS-based deals every single month. So I'm giving you a kind of a realistic idea of how many you'd actually need to sell based on this number here. So you'd only need 5 super high ticket clients to make this. So if we want to change this, we can actually change the data here. So we can actually change this. So let's say we're a more established agency and we wanted to sign up mid-ticket clients. There we only need to be doing 6 outreaches a day to large clients, and we're going to be able to sign them up at a much higher meeting set rate, at a much higher close rate, because we're going to have case studies and testimonials that we can use and leverage to sign up those clients. Let me just set this back to where it was before, and let's just move on to something else. So we're going on load ticket there, and let's get this back to 10,000. Because most of you watching this do want to reach 10,000, and let's look at that realistic data. So let's just move on to this area here, and I want to move on to expenses. So I want to give you an idea of when you're actually making this amount of money. Some of you might be thinking, okay, Jordan, it's all well and good. When I'm first starting out, I can stick to 17 outreaches per day. That's pretty easy. Anyone can do that. But what about when I'm actually fulfilling this service itself? What about when I'm actually doing the work that it takes to make these clients happy? Well, of course, we're going to start outsourcing. We're going to build a team. When you get to the 6-7 client point, you start feeling a pinch where you can no longer really do sales outreach and you need to just focus on service delivery. Now, at that point, we need to outsource our service delivery. We need to build a team. And I would always recommend hiring somebody full-time if you can do that. Now, across the board with our agency and other agencies, we've seen that your service delivery fully outsourced normally costs you around 20% of your revenue, especially if you're paying your ad specialist some kind of incentivized deal where they're getting a percentage of what your clients pay you as well. So on the basis of us making 10k a month, we're going to be paying out on average around £2,000. You absolutely should not be paying more than £2,000 out for service delivery if you are making 10k in your agency. Let's just take this another step further though. Let's say you didn't want to be doing sales at all. Let's say you were starting this business because you wanted to completely pacify your agency and not do any work. Well, if you wanted to outsource your outreach as well, you wanted to hire somebody in your team, a sales executive, we have seen on average this costs around 15% of your revenue, okay? Whether that's you giving them a 10% commission rate and then giving them a small base salary as well, we see that it averages out around 15% of revenue. So you're probably going to be paying around 1,500. So what that actually means is if you are selling the service yourself still, let's say you're not doing sales, you're going to be making 8k a month profit as an agency owner. That's with you selling. But if you don't want to do any work at all at this point, you've worked for 3 months to make 10k, you've stuck to your sales targets, you've outsourced your service delivery and your sales, and you've got a sales executive at very, very conservative numbers, very, very realistic numbers, paying people well so they're happy and they're going to stick with you forever, you're going to be making £6,500 a month profit, doing no work whatsoever. It's pretty insane, right? Okay, let's just bump these numbers up a little bit more before we end this. I just wanted to give you an idea of just how realistic this is. So 100,000 a month, okay, we hit that number at the end of last year. Now, for you to be doing this now, let's just say you want to do this realistically within, even if you said 24 months, okay, 100k within 24 months, this is again very conservative. In fact, we're going to actually change this. So we're going to make this a little bit, let's just say this is an average client of 2,000. An average client is paying you 2,000. Okay, so we need to make this. In fact, we won't do 2,000. We'll do the 3,000 because that's the figure we have there. Okay, now our average client actually probably pays us around 5 to 10,000, and we're going to change these close rates. Okay, now our close rate is 60%. And so that means we're going to times this by, I don't even know the data there. Okay, so quick maths. We're going to do 50% just to make this nice and easy for me. Okay, and we're going to change, that doesn't need changing. Okay, and we're going to change this meeting set rate to 5%. You will easily get a 5% meeting set rate if you start building a personal brand. You don't need loads of followers. All you need to do is make sure you're posting content on your page. Even if it's just you doing some work, post some ad results, change your bio, have a call to action in there. I help X business generate more revenue per month through strategic Facebook ads, whatever you want to put, something like that, making it up from the top of my head. Okay, so that times 50, that is, so it's going to be around 20 outreaches per week. Let me just actually check that. So it's 21 times by 0.05, which is 5%. Yeah, that's cool. So Then we want to make sure that this is actually correct as well. So that is E16 divided by 5. Cool. So that is 4 outreach per day. This is you as an established agency owner with an average client of 3,000. So if you are an existing agency owner, you want to scale up to 100K within the next 12 months, you need to be doing 4 outreaches per day. If you've got an established personal brand, not loads of followers, just making sure you've got content out there, you've got a 50% close rate. These are just stupid numbers, okay? Anybody can find their time to be reaching out to 4 new companies per day, especially if you've got case studies. And you're going to need case studies to start hitting these numbers like we are. But if we break that down, we start looking at our expenses here, and it looks, well, this is a little bit crazy, okay? So we start looking at the ad specialist as 20% of our revenue, 20K we're paying out per month. Now, this number gets a little bit skewed, 20K for 100K's worth of revenue. Now, realistically, you're probably going to be paying out a lot less than that. Realistically, pay out, what did we pay out this month? Let me have a quick look. So this month, we paid out £9,000 for our staff, for our ad specialists, including their commissions, to make well over $100,000 in the agency. So this number is getting a little bit skewed kind of at these figures. This calculation probably only really is realistic for a kind of a smaller agency. The sales executive, this is more realistic though, because if you have an appointment setter, you're probably paying 5%, which is what we pay. And then if you've got a closer, you'll be paying out 10% reoccurring as well. At the moment, we're doing most of the closing ourselves. Sometimes it goes to our sales team, but when we've got time, we will do the closing. So the maximum you'll be paying out is 15%. So let's just say this is the absolute maximum you'll be paying out as an agency owner to completely outsource your company. You'll be making £65,000 per month profit. Can you imagine a lifestyle on £65,000? Okay, guys, I hope this video has been valuable to you. Let me just get this back up here. I just wanted to give you a proper breakdown, realistic targets that you can actually follow. I want to get you guys pumped up. Write down, based on what you've watched today, write down the targets that you need to adhere to and stick to them. The reason why you don't see all these monumental amounts of agencies who are starting out being successful, because they cannot stick to targets. They cannot remain resilient. And I think it's because agency owners don't actually understand the numbers. They think, if I just blindly outreach 10 companies per day and I don't really do lots of personalization, I don't really put the time in, and I haven't signed up a client within 1 week, then it's not going to work for me. But if they understand it when it's broken down through real data that we have collected, then hopefully it's going to be the push that you need to actually be consistent with everything that you are doing. Now, if I can give you one piece of advice about outreach on here, obviously I'm giving you very vague, this is outreach numbers that you need to follow. I would advise you following a multi-platform strategy. Reach out to people on every platform you can find them on, and make sure you are personalizing every single message that you put out to a potential client. Put a personal compliment in the first line that could only be said to that specific business, so they do not feel like you have copy and pasted every single message. It is way more valuable to send out 20 completely personalized outreaches than send out 100 unpersonalized copy and pasted messages. So make sure you do that. That's the end of this video, guys. Go make some cash. I'll see you soon. Cheers.